Let's talk about problem 64 on page V of Physics 1143. Thankfully, in this piece, there's not a lot of math problems. You do have a lot of explanation problems, don't you? By the time you've gotten to this point in the piece, you have used up a lot of pencil lead. But there's only a few problems and only a couple of equations. Most of the problems on page V, the solution is in the solution guide at the back of the score key. And I was looking at them, I think they all look pretty easy to follow. Even the think question, that one in particular, you probably will need to sit down and study the solution guide. But let's talk about this problem, and maybe by even walking through this one will help you solve some of the other problems on this page. So we read the story problem. It says a 100 kilogram mass is accelerated to 90% of the speed of light. What is the relativistic mass? So in this formula, this is the relativistic mass. This is the mass that's given, which is the 100 kilograms. And then the velocity is going to be 0.9. That's what 90% is. We write that as a decimal. So move the decimal twice and you get 0.9. Of means time, so 0.9 c. So now we're going to substitute that into the equation where we had v squared over c squared. The v is the 0.9 c. When we square that, notice what happens. The 0.9 becomes 0.81, and then we have c squared. On the bottom, 1 squared is still 1, c squared is c squared. So notice what happens here. We have c squared divided by c squared. So that just cancels out, okay? So that cancels. 0.81 divided by 1 is just 0.81. So we now have 100 over 1 minus 0.81, which, duh, that's 0.19. So now you're going to finish this problem. You take the square root of the decimal number 0.19. Now you need to write that down, write it out to several decimal places, and then go back and with your calculator take 100 divided by the answer that you got from doing the square root of this. All right? That will give you your answer. And so that one I don't think you'll find to be too bad.